Welcome to the Groovymono show. I'm Groovymono and I'm hyped to bring you the latest sports updates, cultural vibes, and spicy debates. Let's get into it. Of course, we have to start from football. Big action that happened over the Premier League where Aston Villa defeated league leaders Arsenal 2-1 with a last guard goal from Emiliano Buendia, blowing the title race wide open. That match was a game that I for sure enjoyed. I remember when Buendia scored that last minute goal, I was screaming at the top of my voice. I was rushing to go get my phone to tell Arsenal, you guys are shit, you guys are this, you guys are that. While I was even running to get my phone, I enjoyed myself. The scar is still here. But that scar meant a lot to me because at least Arsenal fans can calm down. When our body go calm down right now. Just how many points? 2 points separates you and Manchester City. You have Aston Villa in third. So the Premier League already is already looking very interesting. So Arsenal fans, this is where I want you guys. I want to hold you guys by the balls because you people right now, just one game, one mistake, just let Manchester City pass you first. You will not smell that back. Elsewhere, Liverpool have been struggling and it continued as they had a dramatic 3-3 draw at Elland Road against Leeds United. Following the match, Mo Salah loudly started claiming he had been thrown under the bus by the club and manager and the slot, sparking exit rumors. It's not nice to see a player of Salah's caliber, coming out to be saying, things about stuff like that. One thing I've always believed is that no player is bigger than the club, regardless of the fact that, yes, he's a legend. He will go down as one of the greatest Premier League wingers of all time. But at the same time, a lot of fans or a lot of people have been saying that his performances have been under par and that's the reason why he has been benched. So it is up to the manager, regardless, to be able to make those decisions, right? So for Salah to be coming out at this stage of the season, where especially where the club is struggling, for him to come and say these kind of things, and he's saying, that they made him promises and so on and so forth. Yes, he signed a new contract. He could have gone on big money to Saudi, but I think right now is a case whereby it will be hard to see Slot putting him back in that team, especially because he came out publicly to criticize Slot. It will be hard to see Slot putting him back into the team, and most likely that might be the end of Mo Salah, or obviously given the fact that he's going to AFCON. So we'll see what happens when he comes back from the AFCON. But it's not looking good. We had this situation. We've had this so many times, even with Ronaldo. In the end, Manchester United let Ronaldo go. So I hope Mo Salah can get back into his groove and maybe when he comes back from AFCON, just try and bury the hatchet. If he doesn't leave, bury the hatchet and just see out the season with Liverpool, because that definitely is his last season there. And then my boys. Not my boys anyway, but I mean the team that is coached by the greatest manager in the world of all time, Manchester City. They are back to winning ways. They cut the gap to the top of the table with a 3-0 win over Sunderland. Shout out to my boy Phil Foden, man. Phil Foden is back. See, I'm way past hating on Manchester City because people say, you're Man United. Why do you want Manchester City to win? Trust me, they've convinced me already over the years that they are a wonderful football team. And for me, my love for them goes beyond the rivalry. It's just because of the fact that they are coached by, like I said, the greatest Premier League. In fact, no, the greatest coach of all time. They are such a wonderful team. Obviously, they've been having their struggles this season. Pretty much like every single team in the Premier League. I think, except for Arsenal, every single team, up and down. You lose today, you win today. You lose today, you win today. So, I think Manchester City right now, they are sort of back. And you have the likes of Phil Foden balling. You have the likes of Czechia. What an outrageous Rabona by Czechia. See, Manchester City, when they are in their groove, they are unstoppable. You see, Man City groove. You understand? All right, guys. So now we head over to Tottenham. They secured a much-needed 2-0 home win over Brentford. Their first home league victory since the opening day of the season. I mean, congrats to Tottenham too. They're also, doing well as well. And Brentford, very, very tricky side. Very, very tricky side. You see, the thing about the Premier League right now is that it is so unpredictable. Anybody can beat anybody. Anybody can beat anybody. It has always been like that. But right now, you see big teams losing points to teams that are, either at the bottom half of the table or maybe closer to the relegation spot, or even teams that are just, just not far away from them. So it's why we love the Premier League. It's why the Premier League is the best league in the world. It's why it is so magical. Anybody can beat anybody on any day. All right. And in La Liga, we have table toppers Barcelona, who trashed Real Betis 5-3 in an 8-goal thriller with a first half hat-trick from Ferran Torres to move 4 points clear at the top of La Liga. Now, there's something I want to address, especially to Barcelona fans. This is for you Barcelona fans, right? Now, you guys have been calling for Ferran Torres' head, especially after that blunder he had against Chelsea in the Champions League. I went on social media. I was seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, Ferran Torres is shit. He's this and that. He should be shipped out. He should be this. He should be that." Meanwhile, this guy just scored a hat-trick for you. And if I go on social media right now, see all of you praising him, saying this and saying that, that just shows you how fickle football fans are. They love you today, they hate you tomorrow. Because this is a winger, by the way. He's not an out-and-out number 9, but this is a winger playing at number 9 under Hansi Flick and is producing and delivering the goods. It just shows you that in the end, footballers are not they're not superhumans. They are human beings like us. You can miss today. You can miss a very good chance and you can score a very hard chance. Osimhen did it, had it against for us for the Super Eagles. So it happens. It happens normally. So you guys should just calm down, right? You guys are at the top of the table. Wonderful performance. Obviously, Lamine Yamal got that penalty. That's my favorite boy there. But yeah, it's good. Looking good for Barcelona. Also, for Real Madrid, they were trashed 2-0 by Celta Vigo. Wow. What a shambolic performance from Real Madrid. I mean, Xabi Alonso, for me, I don't think he has still been able to, stamp his identity and his imprint on this Real Madrid side. I think they have good enough players for any kind of coach to come into that side and pretty much just dominate. And that's just the truth. You understand? If now myself be a Real Madrid coach, I would definitely be getting a hat-trick out of Mbappe. Definitely. You understand? So I think Xabi Alonso still has not, been able to perfect, put his identity into that team. And you can see it against Celta Vigo because they didn't have so many chances and obviously they had 2 red cards in that match. That is very unlike Real Madrid. I don't know what happened to the likes of Alvaro Carreras and what's his name, Frank Garcia getting 2 red cards, playing with 9 men. And then, they just made a mockery of Real Madrid and they've only, further increased the gap that they have with Barcelona right now in La Liga. But yeah, that's up for Real Madrid fans. That's Real Madrid fans' headache, not my headache. My own headache is already much. I'm supporting Man U. All right, so we go to the Bundesliga where Harry Kane came off the bench to score a hat-trick as Bayern Munich routed Stuttgart 5-0. Harry Kane, I don't know, man. I feel like right now, I mean, you're in the Bundesliga, the Farmers League. I don't even know how, to be honest, respectfully, I don't see how Bundesliga is top 5 leagues in the world because we all know that in the Bundesliga, it's almost like when the season starts, they just give Bayern Munich the trophy. And I take nothing from Harry Kane. He's a wonderful striker. He's been scoring goals even in the Premier League. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, Bayern Munich were always going to win the Bundesliga. So it's a question of can Harry Kane deliver in the most important stages, which is the Champions League, which is the World Cup. We shall see. Anyways, we head over to Serie A where Inter Milan moved to the top of the table after a 4-0 hammering of Como. Shout out to Inter. Obviously, another big game that happened over the weekend was Napoli trashing. I wouldn't say trashing. I mean, they beat Juventus in a high-stakes fixture. Rasmus Højlund, my former boy, scoring 2 goals, and then Yildiz scoring for Juventus. I'm proud of Højlund, man. I have to say I'm proud of Højlund. I'm not one of those fans that will say, oh, because he did not do well in my club, then you should now be shit and go and have a bad career. We have so many Man U players that are doing well. Mason Greenwood is doing well in France. Højlund is doing well in Italy. McTominay is doing well in Italy. We have a lot of players that are doing well that left. Anthony is doing well in La Liga. So I'm happy for Rasmus Højlund. Maybe the pace of the Premier League did not suit him, because he's back in Italy where we actually bought him from, so maybe the pace of the Premier League did not suit him. But in the end, you can't help but imagine and say that there's something about Manchester United that spoils any good thing that comes into that club. We go to France, where in Ligue 1, obviously, Ligue 1 is the French league. Surprise package Lens remained top of the table after a 2-1 win over Nantes, with PSG defeating Reims to stay close behind. And in the MLS Cup, Inter Miami, a.k.a. Lionel Messi FC, have finally done it. They beat the Vancouver Whitecaps 3-1 to win the club's first ever MLS Cup title. Congratulations to Inter Miami. They came close last season, but they didn't win it. The format in the American Football League, I don't know what they call it. It's quite different from the way it is in normal like European leagues. I think they have this. When you finish at the end of the season, you now have playoffs to determine who's going to win the league. Unlike the normal league season where it's like if you finish with the highest number of points across, let's say 38 matches, you win. But in America, it's different. You have to finish the season and then you do playoffs. And finally, credit to Lionel Messi. I think he has really uplifted the MLS. He has really uplifted the MLS. MLS has had some legends. They've had the likes of Ibrahimovic, Gareth Bale, David Beckham. They've had some superstars that have graced that league. But I think Lionel Messi has really uplifted the league. And like I said, I'm beyond hating, man. If I can love Manchester City right now, then I can love what Lionel Messi is doing at Inter Miami. It's credit to him. I think right now he has the highest number of trophies ever by any football player. He has the highest number of assists by any football player. People would think, is this guy a Ronaldo fan or is he a Messi fan? Is he glazing? I'm not glazing. I'm stating facts. Congrats to Lionel Messi. Big news. The World Cup is here. It's not here, but it's close. The draw, happened in Washington, D.C., and the group stages have been confirmed for all nations. Well, not all nations, because some teams have to be in the playoffs. Now, England, have a very interesting group. We have the likes of France, Senegal, Norway, Group I, and a yet to be announced team that will go through the playoffs, the FIFA playoffs, to make it to be in the final slot for that Group I, making what will be the group of death. Guys, listen: France, Senegal, Norway, in one group, and then a yet to be announced team. Those three alone, that's a group of death. I'm excited to see who's going to come out of that group, because that is by far a very tough group. You have Senegal, former AFCON winners. They've got Mane there and some ballers. You've got France, Mbappe, gunning for Ballon d'Or. Hungry as ever. They have the experience. They have talented players there. And then you have Norway, Rasmus Højlund. You have Norway, Haaland, Odegaard. It's going to be crazy. It's really going to be really interesting for any of the teams that comes out from that group. But that's the group of death. Otherwise, I think the other groups are good. England is in the group with Ghana. And I think the other groups are quite fair. Brazil is in the same group with Morocco, Haiti. Yeah, I think the groups are quite fair. We just need to know at the end, when the playoffs are done, we will now know the final teams that are going to be in their groups. But it is interesting for the World Cup. Obviously, it's sad because Nigeria is not going to be there, and the Nigerians and Ghanaians are going back and forth as to which one is more important, making it to the World Cup or making it to the AFCON. I'll leave you guys to decide on that. And on a sad note, former Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong has retired from international football from the Super Eagles. He announced the decision on social media in an emotional letter and video, stating that the decision was his and his only. Now, the 32-year-old defender entered 83 caps for Nigeria over a decade, major tournaments including the FIFA World Cup and 3 AFCON competitions. Troost-Ekong is a delightful human being. He's somebody that I've had the pleasure of meeting, and then speaking to him, you could see how passionate and how dedicated he is to the Super Eagles. He never ignores a call. He's always available, hardly even injured. But I think with the performances over the World Cup qualifying campaign, there were a few errors. Like I said before, these players are not superhumans or Superman or whatnot. They are human beings. They will make mistakes. And yeah, he did have one mistake against Zimbabwe where he was dribbled past. That, I think that was we were leading 1-0 and it was close to the end of the game, and he was dribbled past, and then they scored that goal. And obviously he had that own goal in South Africa, against South Africa. So I mean, he has had one or two bloopers or whatever, if you call it, but in the end, he's somebody that I feel would have still been a good addition for us going into this AFCON, because I look at the defenders that we have right now. We have the likes of Benjamin Fredericks. We have the likes of Calvin Bassey. I think Bright Osai Samuel. And I'm struggling, and I'm struggling, and I'm wondering who's going to replace Troost-Ekong. it's now a big job for Eric Chell and the NFF to try and see who, people that they can draft in. I know we have players definitely around the world that can come in, but someone of Truth Ekon's quality, given the fact that he was our player of the tournament at the last AFCON, he was very reliable for us. But yes, things are not going so well right now. But I guess in the end, he kind of felt that if, him going with the Super Eagles to this AFCON would most likely be that he will be on the bench for most of the games, and maybe he's not happy with that. Or maybe there's something that went behind the scenes that we don't even know about. But it was sad. I was sad to hear about that, and I did send him a message, wishing him well and, just congratulating him on everything he's done for the Super Eagles, which he replied in good faith. So yeah, hopefully, wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your service, Truth Ekong. Now, guys, let's run you through the score lines across the world of football this weekend. Check it out. Welcome to Hoops Corner, ladies and gentlemen, where we talk about the best of basketball action. Of course, we have to start with the best basketball league in the world, the NBA. Starting off with James Harden, the LA Clippers guard has surpassed Carmelo Anthony to move into the top 10 on the NBA's all-time scoring list. And as for OKC, the best team in the NBA, they powered themselves to the 14th consecutive victory, beating the Dallas Mavs to improve their record to 23 wins and 1 loss, one of the best starts in NBA history. Shout out to OKC, man. I think they're phenomenal. I think right now it will be hard to see any team stopping them in the West. It will even be hard to see any team, preventing them from winning back-to-back championships. These guys are unstoppable. Shea looks in crazy form. The team looks fresh, energetic, and on fire. So, man, OKC gonna get it. OKC gonna get it. That's if my boys Celtics don't. And as for the GOAT, you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. LeBron James. His streak has ended, obviously, with that win over the Raptors. He was held to 8 points, ending his 1,297 game double-digit scoring record with an assist that was widely praised to Rui Hachimura for a wonderful stoppage time winner. Now, that's the thing. In the end, records are created, and someday records will be broken. And LeBron James, the genius that he is, chose the perfect moment to end that his streak by giving a vital pass to Rui Hachimura to be able to seal the victory. That's what you call somebody that understands the game. It's not about, at his age right now, with everything he's done in basketball, I don't think it's about chasing records right now. It's just about trying to, obviously, get his team to be as effective as possible and continue to dominate and, hopefully give the Lakers a chance to be able to maybe, come up against OKC, even though I still see OKC getting past them. But, that's LeBron James at his brilliant best. And of course, the Lakers, they beat the Raptors. They defeated the Toronto Raptors 123-120 on the 4th of December. Now, Chris Paul, he has been talking about his retirement plans. Now, after being released by the Clippers, he has indicated that this season will be his final year in the NBA. And of course, my boys, the Boston Celtics, they took down the Toronto Raptors 121-113 in a thrilling matchup at the arena. Jaylen Brown led the charge with an impressive 30 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Scottie Barnes put up a solid performance for the Raptors with 18 points, a couple assists and some blocks, but the Celtics dominated the game, 23-point lead. The Raptors tried to mount a comeback, but my boys secured a 5th consecutive win, and it has taken them to within a good position within the Eastern Conference. Now, shout out to Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown has been super amazing in the absence of Jason Tatum. A lot of people were asking, would the Celtics even be able to make it, into any form of contention for the playoffs? But right now, with what what my boy, Jaylen Brown is doing, I have to really applaud him, for pretty much carrying this team on his back, being the leader that we all believe that he could be. Come on, he's a Finals MVP, so put some respect on his name. He might not have the flair that Jason Tatum has, but one thing he does know how to do is to carry a team and be a leader. So I trust him. I know that Boston Celtics fans know that at least for long as we have Jaylen Brown, we have a fighting chance. So shout out to my boys, the Celtics. Yes, sir. And Jalen Johnson's consecutive triple doubles has been a highlight for the Atlanta Hawks, as the forward recorded back-to-back triple doubles over the weekend, a rare feat for a Hawks player. KD achieved a wonderful milestone during the Houston Rockets game against the Toronto Raptors. He's now the 8th highest scorer in NBA history. He had previously passed Hakeem Olajuwon earlier in the 2024-2025 season to take the 9th spot. I listened to his interview, and it was lovely to see, even at that veteran age of his, that excitement at still being able to push up, further up the scoring list. And I don't know what personal record he has. I don't know if is he coming for LeBron's record. I don't know. Is he coming for Jordan's record? I don't know. Is he coming for Abdul-Jabbar's record? I have no idea. But I know that KD, is still relentless. He's still hungry, and I'm happy to see that he has been able to climb further up the charts. So shout out to him. Now, big news coming from Milwaukee. Giannis Antetokounmpo is expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks with a calf injury. And news has also been circulating about the potential trade. I don't know if that's true. Milwaukee Bucks fans will not be happy about that. I think there was even news that came out that even said he even requested for a trade before the season even started. And right now, I know it's not good news, especially right now because he's injured. I just hope it's not true. Bucks fans can at least be able to depend on him for at least the rest of this season. Now, for Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, one of the best players for that team, will miss at least 2 more weeks with an MCL sprain. Steph Curry is expected to be out for at least 3 more games with a quadricep injury. And for Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns, Zion Williamson of the Pelicans, and Victor Wembanyama of the Spurs, all of them remain sidelined with various injuries and lack a clear timetable for return. I just hope that it's not a recurrence of the same injury that Wembanyama sustained that pretty much ruled him out for last season. I hope it's not the same thing because Spurs started off really well with Wembanyama, and right now they're a bit shaky. So hopefully all those players will be able to come back because these are key players for their teams. And shout out to LeBron James, my man. After dropping 8 points, ending that he's scoring that point streak that he had, he was able to drop 29 points in the recent game for the Lakers. Obviously supported by a stellar Luka Doncic, dropping 30 points as always. Shout out to the GOAT LeBron James. Now, for week 6 of the 2025-26 season, Luka Doncic, yes, of the LA Lakers, and Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks were named the NBA Players of the Week. Shout out to them. And USA Basketball has just announced the December training camp roster at USA Basketball, with a lot of new young talents joining the roster, including Pete Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Rickard Johnson, Juju Watkins, Lauren Bretz, and a few others. And with the Olympics around set for 2028 in LA, what could this mean for the final roster? That's going to be interesting. And in other sports, Formula One has finally concluded for the 2025 campaign with Lando Norris, the world champion. Congratulations to Lando Norris. He secured his first ever Formula One driver's world title, finishing 3rd in the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Now, Max Verstappen won the final race with the championship battle going down to the wire in a 3-way fight that also included Oscar Piastri. Congratulations to Lando Norris. I think it's been a long time coming for him. He started off in 2017. He's pretty much been racing his whole life, and it was very emotional for him, especially even with his speech. His parents were there, and he was really just talking about how much his parents have supported him and encouraged him transitioning into the world of Formula One. And that's amazing, man. That's also an encouragement for parents. If your kid has a dream, just as much as possible try and support them, and when they make you proud, I think that's the best thing in the world. It wasn't just his parents, his family was there, other family members were there, his girlfriend was there, and obviously it's a big win for McLaren. I think big win for McLaren, big win for the UK. He's the first McLaren driver since Lewis Hamilton to win the F1 title. Obviously the first since Lewis Hamilton to also win the F1 title. And Oscar Piastri, his teammate that races for McLaren, had a chance to be able to win this F1 title, but he had those disastrous performances towards the later parts of the campaign. And then Max Verstappen had that resurgence and started chasing them. It was at the point Max Verstappen was 100 points behind Oscar Piastri, and right now he ended the season with just 2 points off Lando Norris, who eventually won the F1 title. So Max Verstappen is a beast. We all know that. And he's still young. He has 4 titles. He's still young, and he'll be hungry to be able to still win more in the future. But yeah, it's a big win, big win for Lando Norris. I'm happy for him, and I hope that he can be able to continue in the stead of the likes of Max Verstappen, who pretty much won his first title and then won 3 straight after that, or the likes of Sebastian Vettel, who won his first title and won 3 straight after that, or the likes of Lewis Hamilton, who after winning their second title in a space of different years, the moment he won his 3rd title, he pretty much won 3 straight ones after that. So congratulations to Lando Norris. You'll be excited to see what next year's F1 is going to be saying. But yeah, it was a wonderful spectacle. Abu Dhabi was lit. Everywhere was crazy. We had the likes of superstars. Ronaldinho was there. Thierry Henry was there. Yannick Sinner was there. In fact, the whole world was pretty much there to celebrate that iconic moment. So, yeah, congratulations to Lando Norris. And in cricket, the Australians have taken control of the Ashes. Australia held a commanding 2-0 series lead in the Ashes with a victory in Brisbane. England is facing criticism for their performance and strategy, with some former captains questioning their approach. And in golf, the Hero World Challenge is happening, with Seb Straka currently leading the challenge in the Bahamas at 17 through the 3rd round, with Scotty Scheffler closely behind at 16. And in the PGA Tour champions, Søren Knudsen cruised to an 8-stroke victory at the PGA Tour Champions qualifying tournament on Friday. And in the world of tennis, the WTA Tour featured the Open Angers Loa Treslers tournament this week. Results from the final rounds are coming in, with players like Kopash and Kamila Raimukova competing in the singles finals. Discussions and awards and announcements regarding the top players of 2025 season are also ongoing on the official WTA and ATP website. I think my tennis season pretty much ended after the last game between Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, and obviously for the women, if Sabalenka is not playing, or Anisimova or somebody, or Coco Gauff, I'm not really watching. But anyways, yeah, we have to cover everything that's happening in the world of tennis. I'm excited. 2026 is going to be amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that favorite segment of the show. It is Top 5 African Ballers. Without further ado, we start off at number 5. At number 5 is Chidozie Iwundu. One my brother. The Nigerian footballer who plays for Enugu Rangers in the NPFL, the Nigerian Premier Football League. For some of you who don't know, he scored 2 goals in a 4-1 win over Bayelsa United, and Enugu Rangers are currently 4th in the NPFL. And number 4 is Victor Mbama, the Nigerian footballer who plays for Remo Stars in the NPFL. He scored 2 goals in a 2-1 win over Eyimba. That's good from the centre forward. And at number 3 is Alex Iwobi. He plays for Fulham from Nigeria, obviously. He scored a goal in a 4-5 defeat to Manchester City, but he was praised for his performances. And number 2 is Nigerian midfielder Samuel Chukwueze. He scored 2 goals for Fulham against Man City in a 4-5 defeat, earning a lot of praises from the media and from fans. And at number 1, my top African baller for the week is the one, the only, the Max man, Victor Osimhen. The Nigerian striker scored a brace for Galatasaray in a 3-2 win over Samsunspor. One of those goals involved a stunning overhead kick. Osimhen continues to impress day in, day out. Congratulations to Osimhen for making our top African baller for the week. It's Groovy Debate, ladies and gentlemen, and the topic we have for today is player power against club authority. Mo Salah's public challenge to his manager in Liverpool has sparked a debate on the balance of power between star athletes and team management. Now, I said it, when we talked about the, Liverpool's draw, with Salah lashing out, coming out after that game to say what he said. I think in the end, the club matters the most. The club is the highest authority, and even within the team, the manager is the first point of authority, and the manager should be respected. Whether he rates you as a player or he doesn't rate you as a player, he's the one that has been paid to control this team. And like I said, bear in mind, this man in his first season for Liverpool won the Premier League, with Salah playing a pivotal part in that. Now, the season now following after that, which is this season, has not turned out to be the way that it's meant to be. But in the end, the decision lies with the manager. And right now, it is a very unfortunate situation because Salah is pretty much telling the Liverpool board, you either choose me or you choose Arne Slot. And most of the time, we know it always goes in favor of the coach. So for me, the club authority always should take more control and more importance over the players. Not saying that we should not take care of our players, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying in a case where it is justifiable for Salah to be left on the bench, even though the Liverpool team is struggling, it is the manager's choice. Salah should not be coming out to try and spark some kind of forcing Liverpool's board's hands or whatnot. Okay, that's my take. What do you guys think about it? Now, my second topic for the groovy debate is sports and politics. Now, the controversial decision by FIFA to award Donald Trump a peace prize has generated significant debate and criticism regarding the separation of sports and political statements. That one no concern me. Oh. My own be say, make una just make sure say all the teams will come USA, Canada and Mexico get to play their football and enjoy their football, because this whole America being involved in this whole thing, it has created a fiesta. They are talking Super Bowl halftime, FIFA Club or World Cup final halftime performance. Americans just like to turn everything to some form of entertainment for their own pleasure, you understand? So nothing concern me with political statement. That's up to Infantino, the president, FIFA president, and Donald Trump. They should be doing as they like. My own is, do not dilute the quality of the football. That's what fans want. In the end, we want to watch our football and enjoy our football. Okay? Thank you. It's Culture Corner, guys, and of course we're going to start off with fashion and style. Now, this week involves football culture increasingly shaping youth fashion with a look for 2025 moving towards oversized jerseys, uniform style color palettes, and apparel featuring number patterns and sponsor-inspired graphics that mimic actual team wear. Now, the demand is driven by younger generations tracking player outfits and match day trends on social media. Active wear trends for 2025 in sportswear include a blend of function and style. Key trends involve bold colors, vibrant shades like electric blue, neon green, and deep maroon are replacing traditional blacks and grays. And where we have other things like sustainable materials that are also generating and demanding eco-conscious choices. And of course, we have oversized athleisure, we relax joggers, and the hoodies. Yes, sir. That is it for fashion in Culture Corner, ladies and gentlemen. And guys, in the world of music and entertainment, Bukayo Saka and his girlfriend, longtime girlfriend Tolani Benson, are engaged. They shared the announcement with stunning photos on Instagram. The couple, both 24, have reportedly been together for 5 years and are now ready for their next chapter together. Congratulations to the beautiful couple. Congratulations to Bukayo Saka and his wife-to-be. And early this year, Nigerian artist Tems bought an ownership stake in the US soccer team San Diego FC, making her the first ever African woman to do so. And this past week, she was on site to witness her club advance towards the conference finals of the MLS Cup in only their first year of competitive play. No worry, me sef I go gather my money, me sef go buy club. Yes, now me sef go buy club, because everybody now know say na sports na there e dey now, you understand? But congratulations to them making smart money and obviously smart choices. Yes, sir. And Metallica at the F1 Grand Prix was also a big point, because it was the biggest music headline in sports this week. And, you know, the performance by Metallica at the Formula 1 Etihad Airways Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was filled with high energy, obviously, and that proved to be a vital part of the F1 entertainment experience. We obviously love a good mix of sports and music to create a wonderful, spectacular moment. I wish I was in Abu Dhabi. It was beautiful. Watching that on TV, seeing everything spectacular. Guys, it is top 5 stylish ballers of the week, where we talk about the best fashionable athletes across all sports. I know you guys have been waiting for this. Let's get into it. And number 5 is Jules Koundé. He plays football for France and, of course, for Barcelona. He's a consistent name in the fashion world, cited for his bold and experimental style, mixing high fashion accessories. He's recognized for wearing pieces like custom suits and avant-garde art items that typically push the boundaries of football player style. And number 4 is Lando Norris. He is in the F1 world, and as he has secured his first F1 championship, he has also been cited for his style choices at the Grand Prix, wearing a traditional local attire during the lead-up event, showcasing cultural sensitivity and personal flair. And number 3 is Marcus Rashford. He plays football for Barcelona and obviously for England. He's been highlighted in the 2025 fashion rankings for his fashion engagement on Instagram and high average sense trends for his style, with tailored pieces suiting him to perfection. And number 2, we have Jalen Hurts of the NFL. If you don't know what the NFL is, it's American football. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback is a standout during the NFL pre-game tunnel walk this week, as they prepared for Monday Night Football game. Discussions and images of his sharp, often custom-made outfits circulated widely as examples of top NFL style. And my number 1 most fashionable athlete for the week is the one and only James Maddison is a footballer. He's from England and he plays for Tottenham Hotspur. He might be injured, but that hasn't stopped his drip because he's been given some sophisticated looks with tailored suits and just doing things that makes him stand out from his peers. And obviously, he has made our cut for the most fashionable athlete for the week. Yes, sir. All right, guys, we're gradually coming to the end of another wonderful episode on the Groovymono Show. I hope you guys have enjoyed everything you've seen so far. And please, as always, drop a comment, smash a like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're giving you the best of sports updates. Now, of course, if there's something else that you want to see on the show that we have not been delivering on, then please drop a comment and we'll definitely be open to your suggestions. As always, you know the vibes. I love y'all. Now, guys, do not forget to use the hashtags The Groovymono Show on all social media platforms. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram at The Groovymono Show. We are also on TikTok at The Groovymono Show. We are on Twitter at Ballin' Life Groovy, or you can search The Groovymono Show. And on YouTube, you can find us there as well. All right, my people. It is a wrap. We've come to the end of another episode on The Groovymono Show. As you know, each week we ride, we debate, we celebrate. You know the vibes. As always, please like, subscribe, share, and keep dropping your comments. Now, I want to say a special thank you to everyone who showed up for the Groovymono Watch Party 2.0 Chelsea against Arsenal on the 30th of November 2025. It was an amazing spectacle. I want to say a huge thank you to the sponsors, Xiaomi, for coming through and just making it a wonderful event. I want to say thank you to Hood 95, my clothing brand, for obviously, giving that fashionable style presence at the event. I want to say thank you, obviously, to my people, my team, production team, TLIG. I want to say big thank you to my people, Groovymono team, for making it possible. And for those of you who were not able to join, but dropping your comments or sharing or reposting on social media, I want to say we appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll be coming to your location very soon, or maybe you'll be available for our next watch party. But obviously, we can't do this without you. Really appreciate you guys. All right, thank you guys so much, my people. Thank you. Dalu, thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. Signing out as always. I leave you guys with this. Stay groovy. Hey. Yes, sir.